Hello, Dork Squad. I'm Jonathan Cormur, and you're listening to Dorktales Storytime, the podcast for kids and their pop culture-loving grown-ups. And this is one of our Anything is Possible lore stories.
It's a beautiful day for a story, adventure and glory, new friends and old ones too. It's an excellent day to get swept away in a tale, so let us regale you.
Hey grown-ups, today's story is inspired by two authors who found a unique way to celebrate something we all experience: failure. We're big fans of the New York Times best-selling duo Brad and Christy Montague, who've written a fantastic children's book that throws a giant party for our mistakes. Yes, you heard that right. A failabration. We put a link in our show notes so you can check it out. The book's joyful message that failing means you're trying, learning, and growing is exactly what we wanted to bring into our world of Once Upon a Time. So let's head to the folktale forest where even the biggest blunders bloom into something beautiful. Here in my oopsie daisy field, where oopsies are aplenty, plant a seed for each mistake, first 5, then 10, then 20. And then the field will grow and grow, an ocean made of flowers, for all the fails, both big and small, that give us superpowers. Oh, Redge, I've been looking everywhere for you. Oh, hello, Jonathan. Have you come to frolic in this daisy field with me? I've never seen so many daisies. It is rather wonderful, isn't it? Where did this even come from? From me, of course. You made this? Yes, I planted and grew this Oopsie Daisy field all by myself. Do you love it? Oh, yeah, I do. But, Reg? Yes, Jonathan? What's an Oopsie Daisy field? Gasp! You've never heard of an Oopsie Daisy field? Well, I've heard of the phrase whoopsie daisy before. Like if I were to trip and fall or bump into someone, I might say, whoopsie daisy. Ah, yes, this is sort of like that, but mostly different. Well, tell me more. It's a time-honored tradition from across the land of Once Upon a Time. This is one of the ways all of us critters and magic-making folk celebrate our failures. Oh, I can't believe I've never heard of it before. I know! How do you even celebrate your failures without making an Oopsie Daisy field? I never really thought about celebrating my failures. It's honestly easier to get down on myself for failing. I usually like to just forget about it. Gasp again! Jonathan, you must celebrate your failures. You've even taught me this yourself. Really? My friend, many of the stories you've told me have taught me that we can learn from our mistakes. Oh, you know what? That is true, but it's so much harder to do that when it's your own failures. Ah, but remember, when we fail at something, we have the opportunity to grow, just like this field of flowers. And we become even more powerful and unstoppable because of what we've learned. Even you, Jonathan. You know what, Reg? You're right. I should take my own advice. And your advice. Ah, and so it is finally happening. The student becomes the teacher. Oh boy, here we go. We knew it would happen one day, and that day has arrived. Oh, Reg. I shouldn't be surprised it's come so soon. I am an amazing hedgehog, after all. Yep. A stunning hedgehog. Fantastic. Some might say I'm the greatest hedgehog in all of the forest. Well, you are something, that's for sure. Oh, Reg, you always teach me just as much as I teach you. That's a fun side effect of being friends. Plus, no one knows more about Once Upon a Time's traditions than you. So true, so true. Anywho, what do you say? Will you start celebrating your failures with me? All right, let's do it. So how do we do it? I will tell you. By going back in time. Oh, really? Did you finally finish building that new time machine with Dr. Hoggenstein? No. I'll be going back in time by telling a story. Oh, I love stories. I know. Once upon a time, in the land of once upon a time, there was a flower fairy named Hyacinth who was out flying through the forest. Tweedledee-dee! It's a lovely day indeed. Hyacinth was in charge of caring for a brand new patch of colorful flowers, where other fairies were going to come cast very important flower fairy spells. Their spells would enchant our fair forest and help more wild things grow. This place would not be as beautiful without the flower fairy spells, that's for sure. Oh, you know it. But of course, most flower fairies get easily distracted by forest foliage. And Hyacinth was no different. He missed 3 days and 3 nights of watering because he found a beautiful green fern and couldn't tear himself away. Well, look it. This one's a beaut. That's a really good fern right there. What happened to the patch of flowers? They never grew because they had no water. Oh, bother! Hyacinth, you've done it again. What an utter failure! Hyacinth was pretty bummed out about his flower failure. But then he had an idea. He decided to take everything he learned and go back to that flower patch to plant a new seed. He cared for that seed and made sure to give it his love and attention. And eventually, it grew into a daisy? You guessed it! Well, look at you! A little daisy that grew from my blunder. My own Oopsie Daisy. So that's how the tradition began. Indeed, the story of Hyacinth has been passed around throughout our lands. I heard it from my family and have been growing Oopsie Daisies ever since. Oh, very cool. So, what failures went into growing your garden? I thought you'd never ask. Walk with me, Jonathan. Ahem. We go back in time with stories once again. Cue the failure story montage. First, we have the salty cookie catastrophe. 1 cup of sugar and a pinch of salt. Stir it all up and add the chocolate chips and some more chocolate chips. And stick 'em on the pan and in the oven they go. Oh boy, I am looking forward to these. My award-winning, mouth-watering, mega-melty chocolate chip cookies. Yum. They're ready. Now we just have to wait for them to cool down. Oh, you already ate one. What were we supposed to wait? Reg, sorry. Oh, yuck. You burned the roof of your mouth again, didn't you? No. Well, yes, but also, they simply taste awful. Oh, no. Here, let me try. Ugh. Oh, no. These are salty. I accidentally put in 1 cup of salt instead of sugar. Oh, what a disappointment. Then there was the dance team tragedy. Hello to the best dancers in the world, Team Twinkletoes. I've practiced all night, and I've finally gotten that tricky combo down. Do you want to see? A 5, 6, 7, 8. Kickball change, grapevine to the right and clap. Repeat it all one more time and spin 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 and spin. Oh no, I'm getting dizzy again. Oof, that was a real fiasco. This flower over here was from... Oh no, the diving disaster. All right, Donna and Greta. I know you're the best diving dolphins in all of Once Upon a Time, but I think I've learned a thing or two from watching you. I'm going to dive from this boardwalk and strut my stuff. All right, Reggie, show us what you've got. Oh, Donna, I can't wait to see his dashing dive. Behold, Reginald's toe-touch triple backflip double spin dive. And we leap. Oh, Reggie, you gotta shift the angle of your dive. Don't do the double spin, Reggie. You don't have time. You're going to... Belly flop. Oh, ouch. Good try, Reggie. Maybe next time. Ooh, that was a tough one. That belly flop hurt. And so many people were on the beach that day to witness it. The belly flop heard round the fantasy. But I came right here afterward and planted a seed, and little by little, it made me feel better. As you can see, I've had so many more big and little mistakes that almost ruined my day. Instead, I threw my very own little plant planting party and have watched these flowers grow. The perfect reminder of what failures can teach us. Thanks for sharing those, Reg. Even the scariest ones. Of course. What is it? Well, this reminder has meant so much to me, Reg, that I want to celebrate my failures more. And maybe we should spread this cheer to more of our friends. What are you thinking? What if we pick some flowers and pass them out to friends? Gasp a third time! Are you suggesting a folktale forest failabration? With some beautiful, blunder bouquets. Ooh, I love it! We can tie them all with lovely ribbons and twine. Oh, and put little notes inside. Oh, and maybe we can all share some snacks and stories about our failures. Yes! I'll go get my gardening tools. Spectacular! And I will go get snacks. And... oh, yes, and ribbon and twine and all that, of course. Blunder bouquets, here we come. The perfect way to spend an afternoon. See you soon! Here in my oopsie daisy field, where oopsies are aplenty, plant a seed for each mistake, first 5, then 10, then 20. And then the field will grow and grow, an ocean made of flowers, for all the fails both big and small that give us superpowers. Grown-ups, before we roll the credits and cue our theme song, I want to give another huge shout-out to Brad and Christy Montague, whose wonderful book reminds us that failure isn't something to fear, it's something to celebrate. If you're ready to find joy in trying and learning, be sure to check out their book, Failabration. It's available at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, or you can do what we did and buy a copy from your favorite local bookseller. You never know what wonderful things can grow from your own Oopsie Daisies. This has been a John and Character production. This story was written by Molly Murphy and performed by Jonathan Cormur. Sound recording and production by Jermaine Hamilton at Hamilton Sound Studios. Reach out to us on Instagram or email us at dorktalestorytime@gmail.com. Find links in the show notes or go to dorktalestorytime.com. Now, go be the hero of your own story, and we'll see you next Once Upon a Time.